What's going on, social media family, Facebook family, and everybody that's involved with just trying to transform your life. I hope that today that you've put forth the goals that you need to achieve, and I hope that every day you implement those steps. Tony Robbins said that every day you should take an action towards your dream or goal. Antonio T. Smith says the same thing. And I just want to try to issue some form of understanding of what we're trying to do in this life, I think. We're all destined to do something. And we're all just trying to find that voice or that particular angle in life that can make us live our best dreams or have higher hopes for the next generation, and those things that inspire and encourage people to want to get out there and live their life to the fullest. And there's some things that has to be involved with that. And the number one thing is, when you start off as an infant, there's not really much that this world offers you in terms of chasing your dreams and goals. But it's the people that nourishes you, that try to put in you and instill in you this idea that wherever you are, you can mount up a strong attitude and get yourself there. And those things work for a while. The motivation works for a while. But then what happens is, when you get older, there has to be some sacrifices. You have to understand that you're going to have to give up something to get something. And throughout this whole journey of what we're chasing something that we feel that's internal. And we can't really explain it to the world why it's that way, but we know that it's internal. And you have some great examples of people that put a lot on the line to make their dreams come true. And they did it because they had a belief in themselves. And even if they had a little bit of doubt, they believed in themselves enough to say, well, I need to get out here and do what I need to do to make this work for me. And you have to think about your life the exact same way. I mean, there's no magic formula to this. You know, we all get on here every day and say things that we think that inspire you, that encourages you, and to give you that foundation of assurance that you need. But the only assurance is you being able to say to yourself that I'm going to get up and do this. I'm going to try this. I don't know what the results are going to be, but I need to do this in order to make myself believe that there's something more for me. And Mr. Les Brown always say that if it's hard, you do it hard. But you don't give up, because the principle, to me, the way I understand it, when he says if it's hard, do it hard, it simply means that if it's going to be a struggle, you have to brace your mind for the struggle, and you have to meet it with the same intensity or greater. Because if you meet it with the same intensity of it being very difficult, then what appears difficult becomes easy, because you're matching the intensity of it. And then if you can overpower the getting hard, then you are on a level of vibration where you can change that. But if you attack it feeling less than, then it's going to be a struggle for you to do anything other than surrender. So the message today is just understand that if the principle, if it's hard, do it hard, then you have to attack it with full force. You can't surrender to the idea that someone else is telling you. You got to walk through that fire, man. You got to walk through that fire, and you got to be able to understand yourself that even if you get burned, you're not turning back now. Because once you get in it, you'll find out that if it's meant for you to stay in that heat, then you can take it. But if it's not, right? I'm not saying that everybody achieves everything that they want to maximum capacity, but if it's not, you'll be able to say to your family or your children that I went out there in that fire that I chose for myself, and this is what I discovered. Now I'm going to share these lessons with you so that when you walk in your fire and you get the intensity or the desire to want to quit, then here are the steps that you need to take. Because it's all about steps at this point. What steps do you need to take to make yourself successful? Antonio, he always outlines for you steps. He just never gives you like motivation, right? Everything that he does is life steps. Tony Robbins does the same thing. Gary Vee does the same thing. So what you need in your life is not so much you need the motivation, but the motivation has to be fed with steps, because it's the steps that solves the problem. The motivation, give you that strong energy or desire to do that, but it's the practical steps that you have to have, and the spiritual awareness to know that you can vibrate on a level that you can accomplish what you want. So ladies and gentlemen, understand that no matter how often I get on here and speak to this beloved universe of 7.5 billion people, if you're not putting in the steps, if you're not giving yourself the action, then your dream is just going to remain unsatisfied and you'll be a discouraged person. But as long as you are attacking this thing every single day of your life, starting when the very moment you understand it and you don't surrender, if that is meant for you to be, then the universe is going to bend towards your will and you'll have what you want. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day.